Guys, I'm now doing my walk through the signal station. Started from the above deck, the above terrace, it is called, at Gun Hill Signal Station. We are overlooking the St. George Valley. And again, we are 700 feet above sea level. This is the beverage section here. This is the washroom facilities here. And for those of you who don't know me, a little introduction about myself. My name is Dan Moore from Barbados. My YouTube channel is Dan Royd's Barbados Travel Vlogs, and my Facebook page is Dan Moore. Again, I'm in the central parish of St. George here in Barbados, and I'm once again paying a visit to the Gun Hill Signal Station in St. George, which is 700 feet above sea level and is in the center of the island. St. George and St. Thomas are the two parishes here in Barbados known as the Central Uplands of Barbados or the Heart of Barbados. I'm approaching the signal station itself, looking back at the route which I just took. Gun Hill Signal Station was built in 1818 as a fortress to signal when the enemies were coming in. And it gives awesome views of the St. George Valley and south and west of the island as well. You can see lots of snails on the ground. This is the signal station itself. And some cannons here. This is the property of the Barbados National Trust. The sign here says the Gun Hill Signal Station, opened by the Right Honorable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, Queen's Counsel and Member of Parliament on November 24th, 1982. Restored by the Barbados National Trust. By the way, the Right Honorable John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, it was referred to by many Barbadians as Tom Adams, who was the son of Grantley Adams, which is one of Barbados's national heroes and Premier of Barbados and Prime Minister of the West Indies. Tom Adams was Barbados's second Prime Minister who succeeded Aaron Barrow. Tom Adams and Aaron Barrow died in office 2 years apart. Tom Adams died in 1985 in office, and Aaron Barrow died in 1987 in office. Barrow was the founder of the Democratic Labour Party. He's supposed to be the opposing party. And Tom Adams was a member of the Barbados Labour Party, which is the ruling party. Enough of the politics. I guess a by the way thing to talk about Tom Adams, whose name is John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams. Again, I'm paying a visit at Gun Hill Signal Station in the room where the weapons were, which holds the weapons. This is the St. Philip's Battalion of Barbados's militia. You see the buckle here. The General Service, end of 19th century, the 60th Section Regiment of Foot, 80th Regiment of Foot, 30th Section Regiment of Foot, so on. And here's another photo of the restoration of Gun Hill Signal Station in 1982. Here's the militia belt buckle and the bayonet. Here's a map of Barbados from 1728. That is a Barbados laying on its side. This is the side view of Barbados. And I'm at the window overlooking the St. George Valley once again, where we can see the former Buckley Sugar Factory. Buckley is spelled Bulkeley. Though many people refer to it as Buckley, it is Bulkeley. Pronounced as Buckley. That's where my grandmother, on my father's side, my father's mother, used to work at the plantation, which is next to the factory. Buckley Sugar Factory closed its doors. It stopped operating in 2002. We can see all at the Boarded Hall in St. George, which is on the border with St. George and Christchurch in South District area, all across to the St. George Valley. By the way, Buckley Sugar Factory is nestled in the St. George Valley. That is a part of the St. George Valley. We can see all up to the Turnpike in St. George, which is the 4-cross roads that takes you back to Boarded Hall. It can take you to Boarded Hall, back to Carmichael Road. Well, Carmichael Road is the road to lead to Boarded Hall from the Turnpike. So it'll be taking back to Carmichael Road, back to Buckley's factory, up to Ellerton and Draxall in St. George, back to Manning's Village and Brighton, St. George. Or it can take you back to St. George Parish Church, back to Walkers, and back to Gun Hill in St. George. You can see all up to the airport where those big white brown bars are in Hopefield, Christchurch, up to the airport. You can see the airport from here. On the southeastern end, the southeastern coast, which is in the parish of St. Philip, where you can see Ocean City, St. Philip, Fowl Bay Beach, Jameswood and Pennyhole Beach. Pennyhole and Jameswood area in St. Philip. You can see all to the parish of Christchurch, to the southern end, St. George to the center, all the St. George Valley. You can see all at the St. David's in Christchurch. We will come across the Blackman and Gollop Primary School. You can see the Constant Plantation in St. George, which is just before you get to Buckley's factory. And you can see St. George Secondary School, which is at Constant St. George. And the road behind the school is Dash Valley Road. That is the road leading from Map Hill. That will take you back to St. George Secondary School. And it will eventually lead you back to St. George Parish Church. And they can take you back to Charger Bridge or back up to Gun Hill area. You can see the St. George Parish Church Tower, the top of the church. You can see all to the Highgate Hall Point, Map Hill area. The Constant Valley Plantation, which is just before you get to Constant, after you pass Salters, heading towards Constant, towards Buckley and the Valley. You can see all to Windsor Road in St. George, between St. George and Christchurch. The genesis of signal stations and lookouts within the context of the Atlantic world. The concept of lookouts, towers, and signal stations to communicate or raise an alarm of an impending threat, either from the sea or land, is centuries old. It is said that in 1588, when the Spanish Armada was spotted in the English Channel, hundreds of bonfires were lit on hilltops across the country to alert the English of that threat. By the early 19th century, when Britain and its colonies were engaged in a global war with revolutionary and later Napoleonic France, a new invention in coastal defense became part of this system of alerts. The Martello Towers. Though Barbados never had any Martello Towers, it did possess a permanent lookout tower, which was constructed as part of St. Anne's and served as a lookout for large areas of the island's south and west coast. Another part of history: lookouts and vantage points in Barbados. A defensive necessity. I'm not going to read all of that now. So I'm going to show you guys it here. From Briggs Hill to Gun Hill. History of the Victoria Cross, founded by Queen Victoria in 1856, is the most highly esteemed decoration. This most highly esteemed decoration is conferred by the sovereign alone upon advance for the most conspicuous bravery or some daring preeminent act of valor or self-sacrifice or extreme devotion to duty in the presence of the enemy. Only 1,351 VCs have been awarded, many posthumously since its founding. VCs associated with the West Indies are Ambrose Madden, Sergeant 41st Welch Regiment, later Lieutenant 2nd West India Regiment, born in Ireland in Ireland in 1820, died in Jamaica in 1863 for valor in the Crimea on the 26th of October 1854. Henry Edward Jerome, Captain 86th Irish Regiment, born in Antigua, 1830, died in Bath, England, 1901, for valor in India, at Jhansi on the 3rd of April, 1858, and Jammu on the 28th of May that same year. And the list goes on and on and on and on and on. Here's a photo showing military groups in Barbados back in 1904, from 1862 to 1904. Military history of Barbados. And this is Prince Edward planting the Sixium Malacent tree on the 1st of March 1987. Map of the world from 1678. I will stop here for now, so thanks for watching and have a blessed evening.